Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through, and there was a man whose name was Zacchaeus, and he was a what? A chief tax collector. Come on, read this with me. He was a chief tax collector. That means something. And he was what? He was rich. That also means something. Zacchaeus was trying to see who Jesus was, and he was unable due to the crowd because he was short in stature. So he ran ahead and he climbed up in a sycamore tree in order to see Jesus because he was about to pass through that way. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for today I must stay where? At your house. I got to stay at your house. And he hurried and he came down and he received him joyfully. When the people saw this, they began to what? They began to complain. They began to complain, saying, he has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a religious man? A holy man? No. A sinner. He has gone into the house to be a sinner. And understand what they thought about Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus was a wealthy chief tax collector. So what that meant is he worked for a foreign government that came in, destroyed your military, and took over, right? Limited your ability to travel, limited your ability to make a living, limited your ability to worship, and required things of you. That would be like Russia or China coming in and destroying our military and taking over. And now we are forced to tolerate their gods as we're living for our God, right? You're now forced to pay extreme taxes to them. And how would they get those taxes? Well, they would employ American citizens, or in this case, Jewish citizens. They would employ them to go collect those taxes. Now, the Bible says that Zacchaeus was a chief tax collector. He had other tax collectors working for him. He was like a manager, or maybe we ought to say, in that structure, in that system, maybe he was like a head mobster. That would probably be a better representation, right? He was a wealthy, a very rich tax collector. Why? Because not only was he collecting taxes, not only would tax collectors collect taxes, they would throw in a little extra. I mean, after all, who are you going to complain to? The Roman government? They don't care about you. They just want your money. They would take money off of the top. That was common practice. Now, I don't specifically know Zacchaeus did that. I know that's what that profession did, right? And so the people viewed him and they began to complain. Why is Jesus, this great teacher, this great healer and this miracle worker, why would he spend time with such an outcast? Why would he go spend the day? Of all the places he could have been, he spent time with this outcast that nobody loved, this sellout, this traitor, this scumbag. That's how the people saw him. I love the fact that Jesus didn't think of people the way we think of people. I love the fact that God is accessible to you and that there's no barriers or boundaries, even the lifestyle that you've had, your past life, your present life. There's no boundary. There's nothing in the way of you having a relationship with God. I love that about you. I love that about him. And it's not just the men. So the Samaritan woman said to him, how is it that you, though you're a Jew, are asking me for a drink, though I am a Samaritan woman? Commentary, for Jews did not associate with the Samaritans. Jesus replied to her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is saying to you, give me a drink, you would have asked him and he would have given you living water. There are some cultural norms that you just don't do in Jesus' day, just like we have cultural norms, right? There was a cancel culture in Jesus' day as well. And if you were a Jewish rabbi, a Jewish teacher, you would have nothing to do with Samaritans, right? Oftentimes they would walk around Samaria, but Jesus literally said, no, we got to go right through here, right? His disciples go off into town to buy food, and Jesus is hanging out at a well because he knows that this Samaritan woman is going to be passing through. She's going to be coming to get water about noon when everyone else is not there. And she calls him out. Why are you speaking to me? Why are you even talking to me? You're a Jew and I'm a Samaritan. He's like, I'm here for the outcast. I don't care. I'm accessible to every tribe, tongue, nation, every color of skin, and it was mind-boggling to her because for generation after generation, see, she was Jewish as well,